let's keep it moving a little bit because we got some other guys to get to here. Let's talk about DeAndre Swift. Now, I'm kind of on my own here. I have DeAndre Swift at RB5. You guys have him at RB12 and RB11. I get the worry with him that, one, the injuries concern, also the other weapons that they added in this offense. Jameson Williams brought in DJ Chark. So is that going to hurt his target share a little bit? Last year he had a ridiculous 18.4% target share out of that backfield, averaged about 6 targets per game. But the dude has just been an absolute baller whenever he's been on the field. Only played in 13 games last year, but still averaged almost 16.1 fantasy points per game, which is good for RB8 over that span. First in yards created per touch as well. I think there's a lot to like here. This offensive line is really good. I actually think this offense is going to take a step forward, which actually can help DeAndre Swift to get more red zone opportunities. And he still played 67% of the snaps last year, 57% of the opportunities. So I think there's some room for growth on the opportunity side for him. He did only see 27 red zone touches, but we're also talking about a team that was absolutely abysmal, couldn't really move the ball that well. And so I think, I think you could see that number go up as well. And so I just think DeAndre Swift, this is the year he kind of puts it all together, and where we start looking at him more like a locked-in top 5 running back over the next few seasons for DeAndre Swift. And so I love DeAndre Swift, and so I have him at 5. I know you guys have him a little bit lower. What reason do you guys have for having a little bit lower? You guys still have him as RB1. You're not disrespecting the man, but what reasons are you guys a little bit lower on him?
Cody, you want to lead this one off?
For me, I just don't know. Even though the offense could be improved, I don't know how high his touchdown upside is, and I think his targets are going to start to take a little bit of hit as well. You're going to have T.J. Hawkinson back healthy. Amon-Ra St. Brown is at least going to be an established part of this offense. He's obviously not going to carry the target share that he had down the stretch last year. But they added DJ Chark. You're going to have Jameson Williams at some point as well. Quintez Cephas should be back and healthy. So I just have questions about his overall target share. And even with the offense being improved, I just don't know how high that touchdown upside is, given the other pieces that they've now added to the offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of I'm in a similar spot. I mean, I think that the biggest thing with them adding Jameson Williams, DJ Chark being added to this offense, are they going to be, especially we don't even know what Jameson Williams, like him starting the season, he could be in the pup, he could start out full snaps, we don't know. But with how we're projecting with everybody healthy and things like that right now, I mean, with DeAndre Swift, I just see it being a really, really hard bet to make that he is going to match an 18% target share this year, which put him second amongst all running backs. He was second in route participation. I think that both of those metrics probably fall if they have a fully healthy offense with Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T.J. Hawkinson, Chark, all there. I think that this is going to be I don't disagree at all. I think that this offense is going to be massively better versus giving targets to Quintez Cephas and Khalif Raymond and things like that. But this could also lead Jared Goff to be able to spread the ball out to a lot of different guys in this offense. So I think that if you're looking at DeAndre Swift, we could see his targets fall. I still think it's plausible. He could get more red zone usage, or at least in the sense of the Lions being the red zone more often. But where the ball goes once they get inside the red zone, I think is still up for debate. They could easily use T.J. Hawkinson. They could use any one of these players in those types of roles. And also, I'm going to bring up this name, and I don't think that he's going to massively factor, but I think I will not be surprised if Craig Reynolds wins the RB2 job over Jamal Williams just based off of what he did last year. Because if you look at efficiency metrics, Reynolds was really damn good in the very limited opportunity that he got last year. And if he takes over the early down banger role and he does it better than Jamal Williams, because Jamal Williams, we know what we're getting. He can handle volume. He's a jag. He's not going to pop in any kind of elusivity metrics. He's not going to be efficient. If Reynolds takes over that RB2 role, maybe you see some of the early down role get siphoned off to him, and it hurts DeAndre Swift. So there's just a lot of outs, both with the increased amount of passing targets, because at the beginning of the season, guys, it was Swift and Jared Goff just checking down to him religiously. And I don't know if we see that come back this year with a lot more talent around him. And Jared Goff, down the stretch, he played a lot better. We saw small inklings of like the somewhat serviceable Jared Goff version from the Rams. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be great, but if you're looking at like, okay, do I have to force the ball to this guy? Do I have to check it down? Maybe we don't get as many checkdowns when he's got a shit ton of weapons around him and he's just like, look, whoever's open, poof, you get the ball, you get the ball, you get the ball. And that might lead to DeAndre Swift not carrying a freaking 18% target share this year.
I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, it's hard, a little bit hard to judge because obviously he missed weeks, 13 through 16, I believe.
Yeah. And then he came back. He was a part-time player when he came back too.
I don't know. I just think with everything aligned here, I just think that I don't think he loses all that much, in terms of targets. I don't think he really loses all that much. And so, and like I said, I think the red zone opportunities are going to be much better this year for where this offense stands. I don't give a shit about DJ Chark and all the other guys. It's really what Jameson Williams do. Really, I mean, DJ Chark has been a one-hit wonder, right? And, I mean, I know he's gotten hurt, stuff like that, but like I'm not really all that concerned like with that part of it. So really, it's like T.J. Hawkinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then what can Jameson Williams do? And I love Jameson Williams. I was pissed
I love Jameson Williams
that they went out and brought him and that he's there. But we'll see where he stands and is he ready to go this year? Is he somebody that takes till the second half to really get going because of the injury that he's coming off of? And so I think there's still going to be a lot of targets there for DeAndre Swift. So
Kev, I'm curious about something. I want to see what do you two guys think about his early down role? Like I talked about Reynolds maybe eating into that, but like with Swift last year, and I guess that's part of my struggles with kind of projecting DeAndre Swift into this season, because you saw them limit him for most of the season. Like he got 11 carries, 8, 14. He lived in like the low teens range. And then they went out and they fed him the damn ball versus Pittsburgh for 33 times. And of course, poof, then he gets hurt like a week or two later. Do we see his early down role going up to say the 15 to 17 range? Or do y'all think he's going to be capped in a committee in the sense of like he's going to still hang in this 8 to 14 carry range?
I view DeAndre Swift like a Aaron Jones type player, right? Jamal Charles type player, like somebody he's never probably going to get 20 plus carries a game. This is not his role. It's not what he's going to do. And I don't think he needs it. He's an efficient running back, great pass catcher. So I think he's somebody that can live in the 13 to 15 carries per game and still be excellent, because I think he's still going to see 5+ targets on most weeks. And so, if you look at his numbers from last year, that's kind of what you see. I mean, he only had 2 weeks where he had double-digit targets. Other than that, it was a lot of 5s and 6s in there that were in terms of targets that he was seeing. And so some of that, is baked in. And look what he was able to do on limited touches, And so even if it rises a little bit, I think, but like I said, I think you're probably looking at 13 to 15 carries per game, which is totally fine in PPR formats. I don't care about that. I care about the targets. We know, that a reception, is worth double than, or what is it, 2 or 3 times more than what a carry costs. Like,
I think 2.4, 2.5, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. Like that's all I care about. And
if the targets go down, I wonder if he gets the early down work or the red zone work to sit here and kind of supplement that. That's I guess where trying to look at and pigeonhole kind of where my struggle is on seeing a top 5 ceiling for him or top 3, what have you and stuff. Is he going to get the early down work, or what's the target share work look like, and what does the red zone work look like? I easily could be too low on him. He could be this year's Austin Eckler. And what he does, and I could see that in the range of outcomes for him, but I also see the other side of it, and then he's not top 3, top 5. He's consistently in like RB 10 to 12 range.
Yeah, Kev, I know you said you're not worried about DJ Chark, but at least the Lions have bodies this year, which is something they did not have last year. So I'm with DBRO. I'm really curious to see how the target split ends up working out.